But to your question, to the original question, look, I do see some signs that the left is maybe they feel like they've been in the wilderness long enough and it's time to get a little more intelligent and a little more strategic. Just the fact, I know this is almost sad to admit, just the fact that almost everybody gave Krystal credit for destroying Bill Maher, that made me happy. When you have both Sam Cedar and Jimmy Dore talking about it and saying similar things, that progress. That's like, okay, look, there are real
clip, by the way.
It was. I think she did a phenomenal job. Funny enough, I think I've mentioned this, but behind the scenes, she wasn't sure that she did a good job. You know, afterwards, she was like, I don't know. There were three of them and one of me, or two of them and one of me. And I had to tell, like, no, you did a great job. You did a great job. The fact that, because that goes to your question earlier. Oh, if the time came, would you work with the Young Turks? Would you work with Jimmy Dore? The answer is obviously, of course. If they're right about something, I'll say they're right about something. It was no big deal. That was a sign of that exact mentality. Because it wasn't that long ago, Jimmy did a video where he called Krystal pro-war media and had her in the thumbnail. So,
yeah. Speaking of Jimmy, one more thing about Jimmy, and because you were talking about that Krystal Bal segment, I watched his breakdown of that appearance on Bill Maher, and he did give her credit, like you said. But I do remember he even threw a shot at you though, because they were talking about the CARES Act, obviously being the greatest upward transfer of wealth, and he was like, yeah, clearly Krystal Bal understands this, but guys like Kyle Kulinski, they will defend the CARES Act and say, well, despite all of that shit, you had to vote for it anyway in order to get people the, menial benefits that it did provide.
So what was she talking about? She's talking about this. This is from PBS NewsHour. Federal Reserve to lend additional $1 trillion a day to large banks. The Fed is also buying treasury bonds, just as she said. The Fed is also buying treasury bonds at a furious pace and will soon run through $500 billion in purchases it announced on Sunday. It's also accelerating its purchase of mortgage-backed securities. Most analysts expect they will buy more. All the Fed's emergency steps are intended to pump cash. Now, remember what Bill Maher and that other guy was saying was that inflation is because we put too much the government spent too much cash helping people. They didn't spend almost no money helping people, fuckface. That was the problem with the CARES Act. It didn't help anybody. It just enriched the already rich. And which they don't know anything about the CARES Act. Bill Maher doesn't know anything about the CARES Act, and whoever that asswipe is sitting next to Krystal Bal also has no idea what's in the CARES Act or what it was. Like most Democrats and most fucking YouTubers don't know what the fucking CARES Act was. They reported it incorrectly.
Yeah, I only heard about it on here at the time.
That's right. The rest of them.
That's the only first time I heard of it.
Kyle Kulinski and all those fuckers. They're all saying, "Oh, but they had to pass this to get the unemployment through. They had to help. They had to do this. Bernie had to do this so he could get the unemployment." That's what Ro Khanna came on my show and said that. He said we had to pass the CARES Act because we had to get unemployment benefits to people.
But I don't really remember that being your commentary. Were you saying that people should vote for the CARES Act?
100% was not my commentary. I was incredibly critical of the CARES Act. And by the way, this is extra hilarious because this is the guy who, Krystal voted for Joe Biden. I did not vote for Joe Biden.
Right.
So I am more in alignment with his philosophy, but he takes the shot at me again because it's all personal with him. It's all personal. It's got nothing to do with the policy of it. It's got nothing to do with the politics of it. Yeah. Look, when he decided I was it was no holds barred. He was out there liking the tweets about how, I was Me Tooing somebody who I never fucking talked to once in my life on an Instagram account that people swore was mine. But I was on record for years before saying, I don't even have a fucking Instagram. Humanist Report dug up the video of me and Corin talking about it years ago where I'm like, Instagram? I've never been on Instagram. There's a fake person on Instagram with my name or whatever pretending to be me. And we asked that person to change it to the unofficial Kyle Kulinski shit, right? Which they did, but then apparently they changed it back because they were trying to get me in trouble and fucking Me Too and women and shit. But anyway, people knew that, and he probably knew that, but he was like, fuck it, Kyle's the enemy, so I don't care. Throw it against the wall, and whatever sticks. Right. That's the thing that gets back to what I was talking about before. I hold no ill will towards anybody. I'm not taking personal shots at anybody. But if, when they come after me in such a vituperative way, in an over-the-top way, in a way that's obviously untrue, when they say things that are factually untrue, like I supported the fucking CARES Act, nonsense, right? So what am I supposed to do in a situation like that? That's why this is one of the many reasons why I've gotten to the place where it's like, look, all I do is I put my blinders on, I go and do my show and let the chips fall where they may, and I don't read any of the backlash, I don't read any of the nonsense coming at me, because I would go fucking crazy if I did, being immersed in shit like this every day. And then there's people out there who actually believe the nonsense that he's spewing, right? So like, what am I supposed to do? There is no winning. And then if I respond to him on my own show and my own clip, I just bring more attention to it. And then there'll be trolls that are on his team ignoring the fact that I'm factually right about what my position was at the time. It's a joke. It's a joke. Yeah. So, I just leave it as it is. I didn't even watch the Jimmy video, by the way. I just saw that he had a title that was, Bill, destroyed by Krystal or whatever the fuck. Sure. I was like, oh, good. He was fair for once.
Yeah. And by the way, speaking of the whole Instagram fake Me Too thing, I do want to say we're sorry for the way we covered that at the time. We realized in retrospect, obviously pretty immediately, that was bullshit. And, just wanted to say that we do apologize for that.
Well, thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Immediately right afterwards. But yeah, we fucked that up too, because we were live when we were reacting to it. And we were like, holy shit, this happened. Anyway, yeah, we do owe you an apology for that, man.
Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. That was another one of the things where I saw, because a lot of people, that spread very quickly, right? And when I saw that, I think I DM'd Glenn and I was like, I don't even know who this fucking woman is. Like, what is this? What is going on here? And he was like, are you going to address it? And he basically told me, like, you have to address this. And so I did, but I tried to do it to keep it as low key as possible. I responded directly to her on Twitter and was like, look, here's a tweet of me from years ago saying I don't have an Instagram. Here's Humanist Report. God bless him. He dug up the old clip of me and Corin talking about it, where I was like, that's not me on Instagram. And that was another one of the things where I was like, man, everybody's eyes off the ball and everybody's just being so vicious against each other for no goddamn reason. And that really did make me sort of go more into my shell, because I was like, I feel like I'm out here trying to do the best I can. And then like everybody turns on me like a shark in an instant. And it's like, okay, well, fuck all this then. You know what I mean? But apologizing, I do appreciate that.